From Sacred Heart University in Fairfield, Connecticut, this is The Pulse.
Hello, my name is Felipe Lobato.
And I'm Alessandra Taro. Thanks for joining us. Before we begin, let's start off with In the News.
On March 16th, President Barack Obama announced his nominee to the Supreme Court, Merrick Garland. A graduate of Harvard University and Harvard Law School, Garland is currently the Chief Judge of the United States Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit. He has held that position since 1997. If elected, he would serve as the replacement to the late Judge Antonin Scalia. Now that a nomination has been made, the Senate Judiciary Committee will vote on a decision. In other political news, the results of the third Super Tuesday are in. With a clean sweep, Hillary Clinton took Florida, Illinois, Missouri, North Carolina, and Ohio, making further gains on her Democratic bid over Bernie Sanders. For the Republican Party, John Kasich won his home state of Ohio. Donald Trump claimed victory in 4 other states. After a disappointing loss in his home state of Florida, Marco Rubio suspended his presidential campaign. The next Super Tuesday will be held on March 22nd, with Arizona and Utah delegates up for grabs.
Fashion. It's a part of our everyday lives, so much so that many Sacred Heart students are deciding to add it to their course of study. Within the Jack Welch College of Business, there is the Fashion Marketing and Merchandising minor. For more information on the recent growth of this program, Valentina DeSantis has the report.
From the halls to the catwalk, fashion surrounds us. Sacred Heart students had the opportunity to learn about the industry by minoring in fashion marketing and merchandising. Professor Bloom is the instructor of the fashion program and teaches many hands-on classes to help students recognize the different areas of the industry.
That's why this is called Sarah.
With his great experience in the business and trustworthy advice, more students are enrolling in the program.
Well, the program has evolved over time because we have more and more students taking the courses each year. The number of students in the class run from 26 to 31 normally. In the spring, we had 59 students enrolled as the minor, and this year we have 96 students in the minor. The Fashion Club is an integral part of it, and the young women and occasional gentlemen who are involved have been very hands-on in themselves. They have developed it. They have made it better.
So I'm the vice president of the Fashion Club, so I oversee different events that we have and making sure all the other positions are doing what they're supposed to be doing with the help of the president. So if she cannot be there, I'll be the one in charge for the meeting at that time. I've been in the Fashion Club for all 4 years at Sacred Heart. We've done annual trips to New York City where we've visited magazines and different companies that also were in France. We've gone to Mood Fabrics so that we can apply what we've learned in class with our fabrics in person, and we've taken them for our swatch books. We do weekly meetings, so every Wednesday we have a meeting, and then every other week we try to have a guest speaker, whether that's through Skype or in person, so we try and bring alumni back or people that we have connections with in the industry.
I absolutely love, between the Fashion Club and the internships, is when the students come back and they say to me, you know, Professor Bloom, what we talked about in the branding class and licensing, it really happens. This is the way it works. So that's what we do.
Just the other day I was at Coterie, which is a trade show, and a lot of buyers were coming by to the table that I was at, and they were talking about what is this material made of and what factory and things like that. And just now being in the textiles and manufacturing course, I think hearing some of those terms and also hearing him say that you're going to hear this in the real world and seeing it be put to life was incredible. So I feel like I'm definitely prepared moving forward. I mean, there's a lot to learn in the real life. It's never going to be the same as what you learn in school, but I think it sets a good foundation.
If you're interested in taking fashion courses or having a fashion minor, make sure to check out the fashion program at Sacred Heart University. My name is Valentina DeSantis, reporting for The Pulse.
Thanks, Valentina. What is it like living under the shadow of a cultural and religious stereotype? This is one unfortunate circumstance that many Muslim individuals face day to day. Christian Cologne brings us the story of one Sacred Heart student who is helping to spread awareness and to educate others.
College, an educational institution where race, gender, and religion come together to form a community of students that strive for success. Crowded halls filled with students who all carry a unique story. Meet Sharifa Ahmed, a junior at Sacred Heart University in Fairfield, Connecticut.
So I was born in Bangladesh, and I came to U.S. with my parents when I was about 1 year old. So I've been here practically my whole life.
It's been 21 years since she left her birthplace, but that doesn't stop Sharifa from embracing her Bengal culture. She continues to speak her native language to create a balance between her Bengali American identity. From the rich cuisines,
Rice, vegetables, protein every day. We eat a lot of rice.
to the use of sarwar kameez, a culture garment that originates from southern Asia. Some include a sari, a draped garment mostly used by women, or an abaya, which is considered Islamic wear that is usually worn in a mosque or when visiting Bangladesh.
It's really important. It really defines who I am. It's like a mix, you know, when I'm home, it's more like Bengali, and then when I'm at school, it's more like the American side. But like there's always that fusion in between, like with my sisters, like I'm always speaking English, but with my parents and other relatives, it always has to be Bangla.
Sharifa says her life wouldn't be complete without her Muslim faith. She is native to a country that has the third largest Muslim population. In recent years, her religion has been painted as a threat due to acts of violence by terrorists who claim to be praising Allah. Sharifa has been an activist in making sure people are aware of the true Islam.
The root word of Islam, salam, which means peace. So Islam is a religion of peace. And it's really just to, you know, there's guidelines that Muslims are supposed to follow, and you're supposed to just kind of incorporate that into your daily lives. And you're not supposed to, violence is, you know, it's not, Islam doesn't tell you to be violent, and then, you know, there are people that usually takes little parts of it and blows it out of context, and that's what's happening. But I like to, you know, follow what I believe in and try to, you know, be an example of what true Islam is. Like, I try my best every day to be a better Muslim.
Sharifa is the second in her family to attend college. She shares her culture on campus by being the president of the Muslim Awareness Club.
Our goal is to raise awareness on Islam, you know, through our meetings, through our activities. So that's what we're trying to do, just to get more people involved, not only just Muslims, non-Muslims as well.
The club, also known as MSA, provides students with henna. Students line up to get their body art while the money raised goes to the Rohingya people of Myanmar. They are Muslims and a persecuted minority group in their country.
Today we're doing henna, and the money that we're raising will actually be donated to the people of Rohingya.
MSA also challenged their school with the hijab challenge.
So hijab means modesty. So in Islam, Allah ordains like for females to actually wear the hijab that is covering. It doesn't only mean the scarf; it means the whole covering of the body. So only what should be seen is just hands, your face, and your feet. So we, all the ladies and some men too, they actually tried on a hijab. So it was a scarf. We gave them a free scarf for trying on a hijab. Then they pledged to wear the hijab for a day. I try my best every day to be a better Muslim. There's a lot for me to learn and a lot for me to teach others, so that's what I'm trying to strive to do every day.
Sharifa's desire to bring awareness and to make her dreams of being a teacher come true are all part of what make her so unique. This is Christian Colon reporting for The Pulse.
Phil, I thought Sharifa's story was very interesting. You know, over the years that I've been at Sacred Heart, I've noticed that the Muslim population has grown larger and larger, and I think it's great that we have programs like this to help, you know, students interact with the Muslim community and educate themselves more on their culture.
I agree. I think that for all students, I think it's beneficial just to learn about different cultures. So I think that having all these different type of clubs is beneficial for Sacred Heart as a whole.
Definitely. Coming up after the break, we'll take a closer look at a student photographer's journey to finding her passion. We'll be right back.
Open up the champagne, pop. It's my house, come on, turn it up. Hear a knock on the door and the night begins. 'Cause we've done this before, so you come on in. Make yourself at my home, tell me where you been. Pour yourself something cold, baby, cheers to this. Sometimes you gotta stay in, and you know where I live. Yeah, you know what we is. Sometimes you gotta stay in. Welcome to my house, baby, take control now. We can't even slow down. We don't have to go a while. Welcome to my house. Play that music too loud. Show me what
Welcome back. One student combines her love and interest for photography into an art like no other. Junior Gianna Ianetti demonstrates how she captures her voice through photographs. Natalie Chiafari brings us the feature story.
I actually got into photography because I started in like painting and drawing, and I kind of wanted to like expand my horizons as far as like artistic abilities. So it was just kind of more me as a freshman in high school wanting to branch out. I think I wanted to turn photography into a major just because career-wise I wanted to do something that I would enjoy. You know, whether or not this ever becomes my full-blown career, like just photography, or if I just become like a communications, like media person in general, I wanted to do something that I would love, you know, and be passionate about like my whole life. You know, I feel like, you know, if you're not doing something you love, then why are you doing it? Up until this year, I did a lot of nature photography. I did a lot of product stuff. And then after taking a digital photography course here, I actually started working with like models and people more.
I think some of the images that are of greatest interest to me is the way she photographs people. She has an ability to connect with them, and you can see that connection through the photograph. And I think that's very important and also difficult for many photographers to get to that place where they can break barriers and actually say something about the individual as opposed to just showing us what they look like.
It's kind of funny because at one point models, I was horrified of doing any kind of model work with people just because like you don't know like, you know, how to get the emotions out, but recently that's like become my favorite thing. I just did a shoot that was themed was pain. So I actually shot with my friend Natalie, and I really liked it. We went to a graveyard and we did like very gothic, very like morbid, but it's also very like emotional because like I like the best thing about working with her is like she's very intense with like her eyes. So like I can direct her, but then she really like pulls it out. Another one I did like a punk rock type thing with my best friend Rachel, and she's also very like an intense person. So like I think I just like working with people the most, just because it's very you get more out of it. You know, it's not just, you know, nature. It's not just, you know, there's an emotion behind it. I think you can have emotion in nature, but it's a different kind of emotion with people. It's like a direct connection. You can look at a person and you can look at them and you can think, oh, I've been in that position. I can understand, like you connecting with the photo a little bit more. And it's not so much that you don't connect with nature, but I think people really like pull it out of one another. I think the thing that like inspired me the most is like, I always like seeing like ordinary things and then finding a weird way to make them, I guess, like extraordinary or different, or like, you know, whether it be like abstracting something. I love lighting. I'm very like, I like moody lighting, you know, very like intense, whether it's backlit or, you know, harsh shadows. I like the play of light, but then I also like, you know, I started exploring motion recently. I shot the Sacred Heart dance show, and I actually did some abstract stuff where you can see the full motion of like their arms and stuff, and they don't necessarily look like dancers, but they capture like the movement. I look for the good light, but then I look for what I can do like in the light, you know, or with what's around me and like shapes and, you know, everything like that. And I think that's where like the background in traditional art comes in handy, because it literally just directly translates right over.
I think the real reason that I find that Gianna stands out above other students is because she brings a passion to her photography that I don't see often. She seemed to connected to photography in a way that she's found her voice, and that's very important to me as a teacher, that a student can find the tool and use it to say things that are important.
I like that I can translate my artistic ability into something different, you know, where you're working with lighting and contrasting and shadows, you know, but it's not just with paintbrushes anymore, it's with like the real like world. And I think it's kind of cool because it brings like a different element to it. And I think that's what kind of drives my passion, is it's not just pen and paper or pencil and paper anymore. It's physical, real world stuff. I think if I had to give myself advice, and I think I do give myself this advice a lot, you tend to compare yourself to other people. I'm not at that stage of so-and-so is, already, doing this and doing that. And I think artists need to stop comparing themselves to other artists and just focus on yourself and appreciate what what you're doing, and don't belittle your own work just because, you might not be at the level of someone else. And being a mostly self-taught artist until the past, I really didn't start learning anything serious probably 2 years ago. That was a really big struggle for me. I was always comparing myself to other people. And I think the biggest thing is just not to take your own work for granted. You should appreciate what you can do and be proud of what you can do.
Thanks. Every Sacred Heart Greek Life organization holds a charity event every year. Fraternity Delta Tau Delta recently held their annual White Ribbon campaign, which focuses on awareness of date rape and sexual abuse of women. Jessica Shalou brings us the story.
Sacred Hearts University Commons was filled with students and special guests who came out to support campus fraternity Delta Tau Delta and their White Ribbon campaign.
The White Ribbon Campaign is a global movement of men and boys taking a stand against male violence towards women and girls. It started off in Toronto, Canada, and it started off in 1991, and ever since then it just has become just such a global movement. We started it here at Sacred Heart University 3 years ago from Joe Barone. He brought it here for us, and ever since then we've just been having it every year.
A banner was laid out for participants of the event to make their mark by pledging to end violence against women and girls.
It isn't just violence against women or physical violence. It's violence, physical violence, emotional violence, psychological violence through bullying. There is no place for it. You, by your leadership, as the first selectman said, really sets the bar and standard of what you will tolerate.
Aside Dr. Patillo, members of the community came to speak, such as CEO and president of the Center for Family Justice, Deborah Greenwood, Fairfield's first selectman, Mike Turow, and others.
We really just wanted to spread awareness for domestic violence prevention and get our local philanthropy out there and show that Delta Tau Delta is really involved in the community and that we have a cause that we're working for. So honestly, that's our ultimate goal today. I'm here for everyone that's been victimized from such acts of criminal violence, and we're just here to stand together in unity. And that's why I'm here.
The campaign was successful in bringing the community together to support a common cause.
I'm here to support the White Ribbon campaign. I think it's a great campaign that they start, and it's once a year, and it gets everybody together, different organizations, and it lets them know that Delta Tau Delta has this awareness.
I'm here supporting the Brothers of Delta Tau Delta in their cause to spread awareness of domestic violence against women.
The event also honored victims of domestic abuse, such as Sacred Heart alumna Barb Susie.
I'm a volunteer and involved with the Center for Family Justice, and I am a 9-year survivor of domestic violence myself. A few years ago, the boys asked me to be their mentor, and it's one of the proudest affiliations I've ever had with the university. This is our 3rd year of hosting the White Ribbon campaign. And actually, I'm so proud to say it's become really an epic event on campus. Many administrative members and staff, along with an enormous amount of students, were able to attend this year. And we look forward to joining with them on campus and with the center in many events in the future.
Delta Tau Delta plans to continue the White Ribbon campaign for years to come.
I would miss this event as I have in the past because it really speaks volumes of who you are, and who you are is who we are.
This is Jessica Shalou reporting for The Pulse.
When we return, we share the heartbreaking story of the loss of a college student. Stay tuned.
When you choose to become a part of our pioneer family, you take pride in our philosophy.
Opportunities, knowledge,
leadership,
Confidence. Trust. It's on us.
to take care of each other on and off the field.
And if we see something, we say something.
Sexual assault is a serious issue.
We cannot look past it, because it can happen to anyone at any time.
It's on us to not sit back, to not keep quiet.
We speak up to keep each other safe.
Because in our Pioneer family,
We protect our friends.
We intervene when they need us most.
It's on us.
It's on Shu.
It's on you.
Welcome back to The Pulse. Suicide is a sensitive topic that is not often discussed and unfortunately occurs on college campuses. With proper intervention and education, lives can be saved. Chelsea Montani shares the story of one individual who took her life too soon and the mark she left on her family and friends.
According to statistics by Emory University, there are 35,000 people who die by suicide each year. There are more than 1,000 suicides on college campuses every year. One out of 10 students have made a plan for suicide. When someone takes their own life, they take something from everyone they have touched in their lifetime. Megan Duran was a sophomore at High Point University from Acton, Massachusetts. She was described as beautiful and had a caring personality and a quirky sense of humor. On January 24th, 2016, she took her own life. She was loved by family and friends who had a vigil in her honor to share memories and come together as a community, hoping to bring closure to the people who loved her the most.
When a life as genuine and beautiful as Meg's is cut short, there are two ways we could choose to proceed. Either we can let
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray.
One of Megan's close friends goes to Sacred Heart University. And when you see the statistics on suicide, you start to wonder what steps are taken on college campuses to prevent a tragedy like this from happening. Mary Jo Mason, the Assistant Dean of Students for Wellness at SHU, talks about the different things the Wellness Center has to offer the students.
Well, in addition to regular counseling, we will allow them to use our Zen Den. It allows them to relax, sort of step out of the world for a few minutes and just be. We have a massage chair, we have music, and we have a sand tray. That's my personal favorite. And then there's other things that they can do in there to just relax. But the biggest thing that we have for students who are experiencing suicidal ideation is talk therapy.
When asked about other organizations that were offered around campus, Mary Jo had some insight on those as well.
On campus we have two clubs whose focus is to raise awareness about mental health issues. There's Active Minds and To Write Love on Our Arms, both of which are focused on bringing information to students and giving them information about how to deal with mental health issues.
Ultimately, Mary Jo talks about some advice that she would give to someone who has lost a loved one to suicide.
Well, it's a very difficult position to be in for them because a lot of times they didn't realize anything was going on because that friend didn't give any clues. And so there's a lot of blaming. Listening, we will talk and listen with that student or family member or whomever comes into our office. And that is about what we can do is listen, let them talk to us, explore. I like to explore the relationship that they had with the person who died and see if that might help them to remember that person in a different light.
Light was something that shined from Meg Durand. She was known as a ray of sunshine to so many, and she will be missed very dearly.
You are are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away.
We'll be right back.
The Oscars, a night filled with glamour and celebration. For more on the styles worn by celebrities, here's our fashion correspondent, Valentina DeSantis.
Let's go over the top 5 trends from the 88th Annual Academy Awards. Plunging necklines took over the glamorous event. Sunrise Coney, Julianne Moore, and Charlize Theron were some of the many A-listers who looked stunning while showing off some skin. Sequins were a hit. Naomi Watts, Margot Robbie, and Robin Roberts shined on the red carpet in their glitzy gowns. Lady Gaga and Olivia Wilde took the risk of wearing all white ensembles. The look is sometimes hard to pull off, but these celebrities had no fear. Brie Larson and Sofia Vergara definitely set the color tone for this season in blue. Lastly, lace-paneled gowns were strutted by Jennifer Lawrence, Rooney Mara, and Priyanka Chopra. The details of their looks were lovely.
Thanks, Valentina. Everything was not all smiles, though, at the awards ceremony. This year brought controversy and protest over the lack of diversity among our nominees. For more on our final story, Tamark Wilson brings us the report on Sacred Heart community reaction.
Mark Ruffalo, Will Smith, and Spike Lee are some of the biggest names in cinema. However, they are all supporting a boycott of the Academy Awards this year. Why is that? For the second year in a row, all of the nominations for the Academy Awards were Caucasian. On Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday, Spike Lee posted an Instagram picture along with a lengthy caption explaining that he will not be attending the Oscars due to the lack of diversity. Instead of attending the award show, he enjoyed viewing a Knicks basketball game at his own leisure. In an interview with ABC 7 New York, Lee stated, "This is the second year in a row where there had been no people of color nominations in the acting category. That's why we're not there."
When you hear something from Spike Lee, it's like, I feel like it's justified. Go hard or go, you know what I mean? Like, he's the voice of black people in a way when it comes to film. So when he says something, when it comes to film, I feel like some people say jump and, go with it. And I was one of them. And a lot of Spike Lee's movies I really like, and I really think he does a great job of getting points across, such as School Days and Do the Right Thing, when it comes to the African American experience.
Jada Pinkett Smith soon followed Spike Lee's actions by releasing a series of tweets stating, "At the Oscars, people of color are always welcome to give out awards, even entertain. But we are rarely recognized for our artistic accomplishments. Should people of color refrain from participating altogether? People can only treat us in the way in which we allow, with much respect in the midst of a deep disappointment." Other movie stars feel differently. In a speech at the American Black Film Festival Awards in Beverly Hills, Jamie Foxx stated, "All these Oscar talks, I don't even trip about that. I mean, what's the big deal? I was sitting at home with my Oscar like, what's all the hubbub?" And ends the speech by saying, #what's the big deal and #act better. Clueless star Stacey Dash also disagrees with the boycott in an interview with Steve Doocy on Fox and Friends, stating, "If we don't want segregation, then we need to get rid of channels like BET and the BET Awards and the Image Awards, where you're only awarded if you're black." Then stated, "If it were the other way around, we would be up in arms. It's a double standard."
I think it's interesting that Stacey Dash has said that, considering where she got her acting start and career. Obviously, she's mostly known for her role in Clueless, but there's also other places where she wouldn't have even had a platform had they not been black, enterprise or black platforms for her to speak on. So it's really sad that she feels that way, and it's pretty sad to see that somebody who has a voice in social media and out there and things like that says something so stupid. There's really no other way to say it. It's sad that somebody who you would think who would be more of promoting it and going along with black unity, and not just black unity, but just unity for all of us and all ethnicities and minorities and majorities and things like that. You would think that she would be the one to call for it instead of saying, well, you don't deserve this and you don't deserve that, because that's not right.
Chris Rock opened the award show with a scathing monologue addressing the situation. He stated, "What I'm trying to say is, it's not about boycotting anything. It's just we want opportunity. We want black actors to get the same opportunities as white actors." He also stated, "Now the thing is, why are we protesting? The big question. Why this Oscars? Why this Oscars? But that is a valid question. Why now?"
That's a good question. I think it was a combination of actually this year and last year. I think Selma and the lack of nominations that film got. It got some, but it didn't, for example, didn't get a Best Actor. For a guy who was playing Martin Luther King and doing a great job. That was a real, I think, big omission. Maybe also we're seeing other things in the marketplace, a great show like Blackish. I think a really interesting show anyway, that on television that, you're seeing that there are people out there performing and we're seeing them celebrate in other ways. So this, all of a sudden, if you're seeing African Americans, even sometimes even getting awards in other places, but not at the Oscars.
With the Oscars now finished, many wonder if this controversy changes anything. Will African Americans get awarded for their role in movies like Creed? Or will it take getting a role in movies like The Revenant?
The boycott definitely is going to help make it a little bit less of a serious issue. So I wouldn't be surprised if there were black people nominated. I mean, they should have been this year, so I think that it's going to definitely help.
This is Tamark Wilson reporting for The Pulse.
Phil, I thought that the award ceremony this year was very interesting. Although the nominees weren't as diverse as I had hoped, I thought they were very deserving of their awards.
I agree. And I think that Chris Rock's opening monologue was very funny. He lightened the mood, and not only that, his daughter made a lot of money with Girl Scout cookies.
She did. That was great.
And that's all the news for now. I'm Philippe Lobato.
And I'm Alessandra Sotaro. From everyone here at The Pulse, we wish you a happy and safe St. Patrick's Day. Thanks for watching.